So I'm just sitting here thinking if a company hires a IT person, they may or may not be able to have time to keep up to date with newer technology because things change, I know, in the technology world all the time. So is that something that you cover?
It is. So, as I mentioned earlier on, when we come in, we manage all aspects of the technology for our clients, and that includes, making sure they're staying up to date. And that can be from a hardware perspective or a software perspective. So, one of the things that we do with our main managed service is we also manage the Windows updates. So, on our end, every week on Monday, in fact, we go in and we go into our management system and we look at all the updates that were released for the past week. And all those that did not meet certain criteria that require manual review, we review and either approve or deny those updates. And then,
Wow.
and then all our clients are scheduled. We have 3 different schedules, and based on the size of the client or the need of their schedule, we will slot them in there. So there will be one evening a week where all their machines would get updates and perform any necessary reboots.
Yeah, because I read something about some of the updates did something weird to some of the computers recently. So you were able to catch those.
Yes, we can catch those. So, we're always reviewing what's out there. And when we're seeing that there's a potential issue, we can actually go into our system and either, prevent that update from getting installed, or if it had been installed, we can actually go revoke that update.
Oh, great. So now tell me, you have managed services. What if I'm so small I don't need managed service? Maybe I just need you every now and then. Do you do that?
We do. So we have 2 options. So we have the standard hourly service where you just call in and pay for the time used, and you'll get billed at the end of the month for the time spent.
Mhm.
Or we can kind of do kind of like a hybrid approach between the hourly and the managed services, and kind of be on a retainer for a consulting basis. So this is especially good for startup businesses. So we can be there and kind of advise them as they move along to make sure they're getting started on the right foot with the right technology. So that way, it's actually going to save them time, money, energy, and effort down the road versus, let's say a company starts up and on their own, they go out and get computers and think, oh, I'm getting such a great deal. I'm getting these machines for like $300 or $500.
Mhm.
Well, in 6 months to a year down the road, you realize that's not going to work because the computer at that price point is typically a consumer-based machine, which aren't designed for the rigors of your day-to-day business use.
Wow. Yeah. So, and I can envision too, as a business grows, then there's more and more files to keep up. So, so it behooves them to get the right equipment early on, right?
Yes, the right equipment, the right software, and the right services. Um, and another good example on the services front, email. I've worked with a lot of clients where we've ended up migrating them from their previous email platform they were on over to Microsoft 365's platform for email. And depending on the size of the company or how long, some people have had their mailboxes and how large and where they're coming from, that can be a lot of work sometimes to get that migrated. It is doable in just about every situation. It just depends on how we need to do it. But if you start off in the right place from the beginning, you don't have to go through those headaches down the road.
Yeah.
Avoid those growing pains.
So Microsoft 365 is the creme de la creme of the email world,
Yes, in my opinion, that is the case.
really. And then what do you do? How do you keep up to date? You sound busy.
Well, we're always, keeping up and reading articles. Every week we are publishing a newsletter where we're essentially just curating some very useful articles. And so by reviewing that, that's how we're also keeping up with trends and forthcoming updates, and also just following industry news. We have a lot of our vendors send us news updates as well. So we have many sources and ways that we're keeping up to date.